US President Donald Trump says arrangements have begun for a face-to-face meeting between Russian leader Vladimir Putin and Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, and that three-way talks could follow in an effort to end the war in Ukraine. Well, the US President spoke with Putin on the phone after meeting Zelenskyy and European leaders at the White House on Monday. They discussed security guarantees for Ukraine. Now, Trump is pushing for a peace deal rather than a ceasefire. Kimberly Helkett reports from the White House.
First of all, Mr. President Zelenskyy, you look fabulous in that suit.
Unlike February's contentious meeting, the sit-down on Monday between U.S. President Donald Trump and Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelenskyy was cordial. Even the reporter who previously attacked Zelenskyy for wearing military-style clothing to the White House apologized.
I apologize to you. You look wonderful. No, my first question for you, President Zelenskyy.
In the same suit.
There were similar smiles as European leaders lined up in the White House. But as they moved to sit down in the East Room, differences with their host emerged.
To be honest, we all would like to see a ceasefire.
German Chancellor Friedrich Merz insisted a ceasefire was a critical precondition to any trilateral meeting between Trump, Zelenskyy, and Russian President Vladimir Putin.
I can't imagine that the next meeting would take place without a ceasefire. So let's work on that.
French President Emmanuel Macron concurred.
In order to organize such a trilateral meeting, your idea to ask for a truce or a ceasefire, at least to stop the killings.
Prior to last Friday's meeting in Alaska with Russia's president, Trump also insisted on an immediate ceasefire. That position shifted after meeting with Putin.
In the 6 wars that I've settled, I haven't had a ceasefire. We just got into negotiations.
The White House is also pushing for Ukraine to make territorial concessions, like giving up Crimea, in exchange for NATO-like security guarantees. Europe would be Ukraine's first line of defense, but
we're going to help them out also. We'll be involved.
But Russia's foreign ministry, in a statement on Monday, rejected any suggestion by the White House or European leaders of NATO troops being involved in Ukraine's security, suggesting a trilateral meeting may still be far off. Kimberly Helkett, Al Jazeera, the White House.
Well, after those meetings and a dinner with Donald Trump, the Ukrainian president said he's ready to meet Putin.
We confirm that we are ready for a trilateral meeting, and if Russia proposed to President of the United States bilateral, and then we will see the result of bilateral, and then it can be the trilateral. So I said always, so Ukraine will never stop on the way to peace, and we are ready for any kind of formats, but on the level of leaders.
Let's bring in Andrii Kuzmenko. He's the Ukrainian Ambassador to Qatar. He joins us from Doha. Thank you very much for being with us here. So first of all, as we heard from Donald Trump, the impetus now seems to be on pushing for a peace deal, not a ceasefire. Will Zelenskyy meet with Putin without a ceasefire, though?
Well, first and foremost, all the steps we see now directed to the end of this war and bringing peace, which should be just peace, lasting and reliable one. The conversation between the president of Ukraine and the president of the United States was quite productive, and we are really grateful for our American partners for their consistent support of Ukraine in this war, in which my country, unfortunately, is the victim of the Russian aggression. It is a very important event, and it makes us hope that the peace deal, peace process will continue and will bring us the peace. We do value the American side's positive signals regarding the willingness of Washington to work on developing reliable security guarantees for Ukraine. I would say infrastructure of such guarantees. We also value very much the President Trump's effort to organize a trilateral leaders meeting, but we have to achieve the peace. And our logic, the logic of Ukraine, this peace could be achieved just through the strength of Ukraine. That is why the assistance of our international partners and their participation in this meeting in Washington for us had the specific significance. This is a clear message. Ukraine is not alone. Ukraine will fight, and Ukraine will achieve this peace through strength. For us, this is extremely important, and this is an existential issue for Ukraine.
Okay, what about the territorial concessions that Ukraine may have to give up? How is Zelenskyy going to be able to sell any sort of deal to the Ukrainian government as well as its people when it comes to territory?
If you look through the records and the messages regarding the outcome of the last meeting in Washington, you will not see mentioning of the territorial concessions. Moreover, right before the meeting, the President Zelenskyy said the territorial concessions for Ukraine is not the issue to move with. So we should achieve the just peace. You remember that the territorial concession during the Munich deal in 1938 just made Hitler more aggressive and started the Second World War. Of course, the lessons of the history should be learned. And I don't think that the territorial concession of Ukraine right now will stop the war and will bring the reliable peace. We should think something about different.
Right. I mean, there seems like there is still such a huge gulf between both Russia and Ukraine. Can you just give us any sense of if you think that Crimea will be on the table at all when it comes to territorial concessions?
Well, we are living in the world in which the international law is prevail. According to the international law, the territorial integrity of Ukraine is not under the question. Crimea is Ukraine. Full stop. How it will be back, this is the issue for diplomacy, for our strengths, but we will see how everything will be developed further.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate your time, Ambassador Andrii Kuzmenko there in Qatar.
Thank you so much.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.